So in this video, I wanted to do a little bit deeper dive into the way the Creekside brain works, how I get the most out of it, and just give you better overall knowledge of like how exactly the AI is working, just so you have a better understanding of how to best use it. So one of the best tricks that I have for you, if you're willing to take a little bit of time to get it set up, quite frankly it doesn't take much time at all, is launching Claude code in terminal. So it's very simple code. You would need something a little bit different than what I have here. You can essentially just ask Claude, hey, I'd like to open this in my CLI, which is essentially just the terminal interface that Claude uses. And what I have here is this allows it to skip permissions for me and run autonomously. And then at maximum, it will take 200 back and forth turns. So that way it can't just go through and run infinitely and run through all of my credits. But I never hit the max turns of 200. So essentially what this allows is that this allows my device to run like 4 autonomous Claude scripts without slowing down my computer much at all. The Claude code interface in the app is significantly energy consuming and will slow down your computer significantly more, especially if you try to run 4 autonomous agents all at the same time. You may find it difficult unless you have a really nice computer to work on anything else at the same time. And so if you go in and just open your terminal, which I've shown in one of the other videos, simple enough, all you do is copy and paste this in, and then it opens Claude in your terminal. The interface is obviously significantly more low-key, but that's why it doesn't require as much energy. One thing to note is that it is not as good at connecting to like MCPs. So if you wanted it to run, say like connecting to your Claude in Chrome or connecting to Slack or anything like that, it can still connect to the database extremely well, but going in and actually performing the tasks for you, sometimes it takes a little bit of finagling to get it to do it properly. So if you're wanting to build out an agent that's going to do stuff for you, I would suggest like you can build the agent out in theory and then go and execute that agent in the Claude code app, because it will be able to process everything a lot quicker here because it's not taking as much of your computer's memory processing this entire app. Another cool thing about using the terminal is you can see all of the context that it pulls into your chat autonomously, and then additionally it kind of shows you some of the other hooks and stuff that are being pulled in autonomously while it is running. So for example, at the end of a conversation, there are a couple of like hooks that go ahead and automatically fire to do a variety of different things on your computer. And so those are just things that as you use it in terminal more, you'll notice, oh, it hasn't fired the QC agent yet. It'll show you a warning that it hasn't done that, and so it's like, oh, I should go ahead and fire that myself, that sort of thing. All of the data that we have in the Creekside brain is stored on Supabase in tables like this. There's a lot of stuff in here that just isn't relevant to you. The reason I'm showing you this is so you can understand the structure, but essentially every single platform that we are pulling from, so we've got ClickUp in here, we've got email, we've got Fathom, Google Drive, Google Chat, is all stored in essentially what is essentially an Excel spreadsheet of with the columns representing different pieces of information about any specific conversation or anything along those lines. And so you can search the data via keywords. You can also search it just with AI. And the way AI works is, or with semantic searching, which is basically understanding the meaning behind specific words. And the meaning is it attaches a specific vector, which is a series of numbers, and it tries to match your query with a specific set of numbers that gets attached to your query, and then it tries to match it with the AI summary and those numbers right here. I know it's a little bit confusing, but if your message that you send to the AI has a similar meaning or overlaps with the meaning of any of these summaries, that's when it will pull the data. But if you're looking for specific data on specific keywords, asking it to specifically look for specific keywords, for example, like, hey, I want everything you have on integrity naturopathic, it will go in and search for everything from an integrity naturopathic, as opposed to taking that entire sentence that you gave it and trying to match it. Doing semantic searching takes a little bit longer, whereas keyword doesn't use AI, that just kind of uses a Python script to go find all of that data. So that may be a bit too in the weeds, but I wanted to explain the different ways that it can go through and find information for you. Another thing to note is that the agents that we have, they don't always work exactly as you intend them to, or it doesn't always find the correct first time. Pretty good at doing it, but don't expect that it's going to do exactly what you want it to do the first time. You're going to want to double check the output, especially when you're doing anything for the first time, to make sure that it's being done properly. And then if it doesn't do it the way you want it to, building out an agent or asking, hey, do we use the right agent here for this task? If it says yes, this was the right agent, then it's like, okay, I need to go in and build my own agent to do it exactly how I need it to be done in the future. Another thing to prevent hallucinations is always asking it to quote where it found the information and asking it to pull the raw text as opposed to pulling the AI summary, because we store both the AI summary and the raw text in the database. And so to find answers really quickly, it uses the AI summary. But if it finds a couple of really good rows that could help you, like specific conversations, you can ask it to go in and pull the actual raw text, and it will give you exact quotes of the information that you were looking for, so you can guarantee that it's not hallucinating that data. So yeah, that's a good kind of quick deeper dive into how I'm using it and kind of how the structure works. I'd be more than happy to dive into anything else in more detail. If you just want to shoot me a message, I'd be more than happy to explain anything else that you might have questions about.